This one, Mirage, okay. So chat wants some help with Mirage, so I'll teach him some stuff. CSGO is hard, CS2 is hard as well. So actually first thing, this is huge. Do this, if you have CS2 access, do this, it's so big. Practice mode, competitive, on the left here underneath my camera, you can't see it, but this is options. Grenade cam, infinite ammo, infinite warm up. That is so big for practicing. This is huge. You could do this in CSGO, but like being able to do this in CS2 without using console commands is ginormous. Okay, so that means you got a bunch of money, infinite warm up. So open console, it's tilde key SV underscore cheats 1. Then you're gonna want to bind something to no clip so you can fly around. So you just bind no clip and then the key, right? Or bind key, then no clip. So basics of Mirage. So this is CT spawn because this is what the CTs spawn, right? But when people call CT, a lot of times what they mean is here. This is CT spawn. This is a really common spot to hold A site from, especially in mid or late round. Because in mid or late round, you don't need to engage up close. And at the beginning of the round, you might see people here, pushed up here maybe, you know, here. But in late round, you definitely expect someone to be here. So when they're calling CT, this is what they mean. This is ticket booth. So ticket booth means they're up top here, or they're here. In CSGO, it was really common for smokes like this to happen, where you could see over the smoke from ticket booth, and it was hard to see them because CSGO smokes. But nowadays, if your smoke is even like remotely good, it smokes off ticket booth as well. But they can still jump on top, unless it's a really, really good smoke. So this is something to watch out for. This is ticket booth. This is triple. This is 3 boxes, right? Triple. Common for people to hold con from triple, or a ramp from here, or here, or here, right? This is default, because when you're planting the bomb, if you don't know where to plant, you plant default, right? You plant right here. People play default from here, or here, or you can jump on top of default and hold palace, or when you're on the higher part of this wood, you could see over the top and see someone triple, or Tetris. This is Tetris. Obviously a ramp, right? A ramp, Tetris. This corner is called Apex, because pro player Apex plays here a lot. On CT side, it's really close here. So what you should do is you should clear this if you can. You know, you want it, so when you're coming out, huge thing, look and clear spots individually, right? So your T side, stairs. You're looking for stairs, right? So you want to put your crosshair where you are going to be aiming before you even see it through the wall. So you want to like just look at it, make sure you know where it is through the wall, and then you know you're pre-aiming it where the player can be, right? So maybe you're like here, then stairs, and then if it's late round, they might have pushed into A ramp, right? So here, and then triple on this side, CT, ticket booth, default, in front of here, under palace, right? The common spot, left side, firebox. Firebox is this back here, because really good spot to molly, right? This is palace, up in here. You only want 1, maybe 2 people palace on T side if you're going A, right? Like you don't want too many people in palace. It's really stuffy. Palace balcony, right? A lot of the calls are like, this is palace. So what is this? This is palace balcony, because there's a balcony. What is this? This is under palace, right? If you don't know the comm for something, but you know a comm for something nearby, then, you know, that's the comm. Like this is a common plant spot. If CT is smoked and jungle is smoked, you plant right here. This is opposite default, because it's on the opposite side of default, right? This is sandwich. Is a sandwich between stairs over here and Tetris. Right, so brief run through. CT, ticket booth, triple, default, firebox, under palace, sandwich, stairs, Tetris, Apex, A ramp. And this is just this site, right? Bottom stairs. So like, you know, people might call it different things, but like this is stairs still. Some people might call the stairs, some people go, if you want like to be more precise, like bottom stairs. Right? This is jungle. Right here. This is jungle. So jungle is here. Common for people to be holding palace from jungle, or holding the A ramp swing from here or holding top stairs. This is connector. Also, let me move, actually you can see it. Right next to the 59, it says connector right there. This will tell you on the minimap on the radar what you're at. It actually has correct names for like 90% of the locations, at least on Mirage. So this is connector, right? So like, you know, you're going out A, and your team knows like, okay, there's one ticket booth and there's 2 jungle and 1 con. So you know you don't have to clear any of this. He's gonna be here. Jungle, con. Could be stairs, right? All right, so we go back to CT spawn. This is all CT spawn. This is market. If you play in EU, people might call it kitchen. But this is market. Market window. Market door, right? Very, very basic calls. This is called murder hole. Because walking through this is death. If someone is in jungle, and you know they're in jungle, and they know that you are on market side, walking through this is a death trap, which is why it's called murder hole. At the start of the round, though, your window player is going to go through here. And sometimes even if you play jungle or you're playing con, you might go through window. It depends on your spawn. So this is window. Because there's a window, right? Window is a position that people play. Like there are some spots that people play and the spots that people don't play. So like people are going to come at the beginning of the round, like I'll play A. That just means A site. Like they're going to switch around depending on the round. Like they might play CT one round, they might play triple one round, they might play Apex a round, they might play default, right? But window is like a spot that people play, just like A site, because it's middle, right? And mid control is really important. So like you might have a connector player, you might have a window player, and you might have an A player. So this is catwalk. So if you go from B, if you go through market, right? You're on B site. B site comms are really complicated, but like B sites, pretty general comm, right? This is called empty pillar. It's the only pillar that's empty, right? There's nothing in the pillar. This is empty pillar. This is bench, right? Bench, really common spot to play because it's really good for both angles. This is good. This right here, this is called MBK because a pro player MBK plays here a lot and got some really sick frags from here. Also known as jail because of the bars. Van, obviously, van right here. Very common for people to play right here, especially if they aren't eco rounds. Or they might play here. You can't be seen here if you're crouching until they're really close and you stand up. Get a better angle. Right. This is catwalk. Catwalk player might be fighting here. You know, watch for connector. This is ladder room because there's a ladder. It connects to window through here. This spot right here, super common spot to play. Basically this whole corner is called get right. It's the name of a pro player. This is apartments. This is apartments, but literally from here, all the way here is apartments. Basically, like this is all considered apartments. This is underpass because you go under. Leads into middle, right underneath window. So some people say, you know, their underpass means they're like in here. And from here they can see like window, connector, catwalk if you're peeking hard. People will also come under window right here, right? Pretty intuitive calls. This is middle. So this is top middle because it's sloped upwards, right? And this is bottom mid. Top middle. This doesn't really have a comm. Honestly, people call this like top mid still, or like outside apartments. And then T-spawn. That's basically every comm on the map that's important. So let's do a run through. So you're a terrorist, right? You're going B. So you go through apartments. Very common for a CT to push underpass. So if you're doing B rush, the last guy usually throws util, throws some flashes over, holds underpass, right? You're going through. Don't need to clear left. The timing is perfect here. They can only be here if you're running. They can only be like on here by the time you get here, right? Don't need to clear close, right? So you're looking van, market window. That's called E-box over in that corner. Bench, you know, van, close van, mid site, empty pillar. First guy, this is a huge tip. First guy in the rush always jumps out the window. This is because if you're holding this angle, you cannot see this guy. If you're holding here, you're jumping right into this guy's crosshair. But if he's shooting you, that means that these guys can get out. And if he doesn't shoot you and he swings this way, then you're way out of his crosshair. And also, it's really common that people hold it from cats. So there's a guy here, or a guy here, or a guy there. So if you jump out, and especially if you strafe back here, this guy, if he's tucking jail, actually can't see you. Nor can this guy. And so you can jump out the window and strafe back and swing him, and you're ready for both sides. And if you run and you get to here, then it's way harder for them to hold, because then they got to worry about these guys swinging this way and these guys swinging this way. So you're swinging from two different directions, right? So I'll give you like my little, this is like one route that I take on B. So this is really classic. Market window smoke, aim at this corner, jump throw. Maybe throw one over the top. This one is a really important flash. Running while like this. It's really important you flash yourself. A little bit higher. Goes out the window, because this is huge. This flashes MBK, it flashes cat, get right. That's a huge flash. If you're the first guy out, practice this flash. This is really, really useful. And then you can even do like this, the molly that guy, or even I do this flash sometimes, and then run out. Or you use your molly on Van, bounce it off the back wall. That's a little low, but yeah, you get this guy, you know. That's one set. I'm not as good at taking B, but A is a better one I can show. Basic A Mirage smokes. If you don't know these, you can't take A site. Here's stairs. Jungle. Stairs and jungle are good by themselves. You don't actually have to smoke CT, but you should definitely at least know these two. Because if you do this, then the whole right side is smoked off and you can clear sight. And then ideally your like teammates are throwing flashes CT and you take CT, because CT is really hard to hold from. The other smoke that you should learn, this is a shitty Mirage. This is not a good CT smoke. You should not learn this one, but this is the one I know. I should probably learn a better one. I mean, it's good, but it's a walking throw, so it's hard. It definitely smokes off ticket, though. But yeah, so you got these smokes out. Right? Then what you can do is you can molly sandwich. Clear apex. So if I'm clearing it, I'm clearing one thing at a time, right? So I'm like stairs, bench, walk out. So like this smoke, really common that people walk out of bench on this angle, right? So you want to hold that. So I'm like stairs, sandwich, bench, triple, opposite triple, CT, ticket, apex. And then right here, I'm clearing underpass. So under palace, I mean. The palace guy, in theory, should do this. If you're playing palace, throw the Molotov. It clears out under palace so that your A-ramp player doesn't have to clear it and they can just go like this. So like you want to scan and like hug the wall, clear here, clear here. You get all this space and you can clear the triple guy here. Alternatively, you could throw the Molotov if your palace guy is not going to do it, which your palace guy is not going to do it because palace guy trolls. Palace guy is usually baiting, on God. So then you want to swing, default, swing, 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 clear firebox. This guy can tuck all the way here, so you want to go here. And then you want to take CT. Plant positions. So default is here. Planting here is okay, but you're going to get spam from CT. If you're planting here, someone has to be holding CT, and it has to be smoked. But even if it's smoked, really common, you just spam it, because you know exactly where it is, right? Like, you know exactly where CT is, or where the default plant spot is, and you can hear where they're planting when they plant. There, okay, or here, triple. This is not a bad plant spot right here. Problem is, when you unpeak, stairs guy looking right at you. Also, these boxes are really weak. They can spam you right through it. So if they know that you're planting here, especially if you're at low HP, you spam through this and you die. Opposite triple, or opposite default. This is a really good plant spot. Underrated, to be honest. Still open to CT, but not as open, because you have to swing really wide. You have to swing like all the way here to see it, and they're not going to pre-fire it. It's going to sound like default. But you can only obviously plant here if this is smoked and if this is smoked, right? Like these are both smoked and you plant here. The smoke just went inside the wall. Or there are also some interesting scenarios where you take from mid and you plant here, opposite triple or 4 catwalk. Because if you split A and you have your teammates that have mid control, but there's like enemies at CT and stuff, this is a good, because you can post plant from here. Also, this is a jump that's doable. It's kind of hard though. It's like way harder in CS2. I'm wash. This jump is broken in CS2. Oh god, there we go. Fight the CT guy. You don't have to crouch before you jump on this one. You do have to crouch before you jump on this one though. You can make it over firebox. Alright, so I guess we'll post plant is like the other really huge thing on this map. Like, so post plant is post plant. So after you plant. So let's say like the post plant is going to change every single round depending on what utility is thrown and where enemies are. But here's some really common default ones. So the bomb is planted default. Where do you go now? You don't want to, you plant the bomb default, right? Where do you go? You don't want to just sit here. This is a bad spot, right? But so you have to worry about CT. Let's just say CT smoked, right? You plant it here. You know there's people jungle and stairs. What do you do? So you plant here, and then you could fight stairs right here. What you really want to do is you want to try to get back here into firebox, because you could fight stairs from here, and this is a really hard angle to fight from the stairs player. Now it's called firebox for a reason, so be careful because they might molly you. If you can get out, if this is still smoked, then you might want to get to triple. You know, hopefully your teammates are flashing CT and you're taking CT control, because you really want CT control. Because once you have this angle, this is like impossible. Like fighting this from the CT side, like if you're over here trying to retake this, this is like an impossible fight, right? Like you have 2 terrorists here, you're holding it, and A rank, right? Or A rank, default plant, right? It's right here. Even if they smoke you off CT, you could just spam them through the smoke if they're defusing. This is a really, really powerful position. There's a ton of angles that you could fight here from. Also, here's an alternative one. This one I use if I know I have a ton of time. Like, let's say I had the bomb B and I was the last one out and all my teammates die and all the enemy runs. Right, like there's like 2 alive or something. And I went underpass and now I'm on A. And I know that I have like 10 seconds before they get here. Plant default. Run into palace. And you just don't peek. Because they have to clear everything, and this is really hard for them to clear. They're not going to walk up the ladder, so you'll definitely hear them if they try to push you. And if it's on default, you just swing right there. It's right there. And it's really hard for them to get this kill. Also, you could do like this. That's not the molly. It's there it is. We molly default while they're trying to plant, you know? Also, really good smoke if you're stuck in so palace util. Molly under palace, nade under palace. That actually smokes jungle, and it's way better in CS2. This is a really good smoke. I like never see anyone use this, but like you go in this corner, aim above the ladder, and like run throw, and it bounces off the slanted ladder and smokes jungle. It's actually really huge. You could do the same thing with a flash. It's like flash right in the middle of the site. Okay, B post plants. So the 2 basic ones you'll see is plant for apartments or default, which is right here. This is the default plant spot, because you're safe from everything basically. So if it's planted here, van, not a bad post plant, but kind of like firebox. You know, they're gonna molly this. This is like cleared every time on a retake. Right? It's also called planting for apps because you can see people defusing from like right here. So you can play like really passive apps. You know, you hear them start to defuse and molly the bomb. Then you can fight here. And this is hard to clear. This is kind of similar to like being in Palace, except for it's way easier to stay here. And then the other one that you'll see a lot of is planting right here. This is planting for cat. You're planting cat. But it's also planted for bench. So like you're like right here, you hide, you know, it's planted right for you. Or you're on cats and boom. You can stop the diffuse. You know, you wait, you hear them diffuse. If they're diffusing, count to 3, then swing. Don't swing right away on the tap. You know, 1, 2, 3. Because even if they have a kit, they still have 2 whole seconds, right? So you swing late. Now, okay, what to do if you are in the position where you're retaking. Planted for cat, right? You know the guy's cat or whatever, or like, what do you do on the retake? This is a bad play. You're thinking, oh, he's cat, he has to peek through the smoke, right? Like, no. Always smoke the bomb. You smoke the bomb because you can be like off of the bomb, like pretty far away, diffusing at an off angle, and he has to guess where you're standing on the bomb. So ideally, if you're gonna do this, you want to be like far away from the bomb as you can on like a weird angle so that they can't spam you. What you can do is you molly. You molly where they're at and then smoke the bomb. That's a good one. Same thing with Palace. You can molly Palace pretty easy. Like you're like, oh, that's by default, you know. Another huge thing in a retake, if you don't know where they are and you have a smoke, let's say it's playing a triple, right? You don't know where they are. They're not peeking, right? You drop the smoke, tap the bomb, and you keep holding walk and walk outside the smoke. Because they're going to swing, right? Because they're like, oh, he's going to stick it. He's in the smoke. They just like plant it here, like tap it. And then you can just walk and they'll swing. It'll give you a bunch of info. That's basically the basics of Mirage. Is there any questions? I can answer specific stuff. But that's like the basics. Yeah, there's a lot of util that you like have to learn. You know, this is a really good one, window smoke. This is like essential. If you're gonna learn any smoke or Mirage, this is the smoke to learn. Super, super important. Any questions, anybody?